Hello, everybody, and welcome back for the first Global Hangouts of the year. Hope everybody had a really good time off, vacation, Christmas. I know you Filipinos love Christmas there, so hope everybody spent a lot of time with their family and was staying safe. Hopefully, nobody got too sick. I know there's a nasty flu going around, but without further ado, we are back here to kick off this new year with one of our returning friends, Eve Frontiers. We had them for a few months back here to showcase their game, and they've been cooking up a lot of really cool things and stuff, so we'll have their team back here. But first, we've got something special for you guys to kick off the year. We have Sue Ann from our merch team, who's going to be leading the merch, coming on to talk to you guys about what's been cooking. I know you've been asking for merch for a long time, and we finally found somebody that knows the whole merch game. So, Suan, welcome to the
Hi.
Hangouts, and please introduce yourself to the community and let them know what's coming on for merch this new year.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Swen, and I just recently joined the YGG team as the event and merch manager. Here and to work with such a passionate and also engaged community like all of you. Actually, just some short intro of myself. So, like before this, I was actually working with Paju Penguins, the APAC team. So, where I actually help run their events and also handle all their merchandise. So, yeah, if any one of you here we remember or own some of the items, I hope you love them. This is something that I would really love to bring to right the same energy and also the dedication here to YGG, but hopefully something even cooler, right? Something even cooler that what you've seen in Manila or like YGG Play Summit. Okay, yeah. So I think like what excites me here is that seeing YGG is actually really prioritizing the community, not just through experience, but also like with XP and also upcoming merch that you will soon be able or even redeem. Yeah, so merch is coming, and the good news is like you all are part of this. You can see that Fallen Corps is already pin up the merch form. On January 2nd, we actually published that Google form in the YGG Discord, so it's also like open to all of you. This form is actually help us to understand each and every one of you better, and also is your chance to share your ideas or like any feedback would be appreciated. Actually feel free to drop in any ideas for your future dream merch. There's a open questions there, so you can just drop in there. You can actually find this link directly in the YG Discord, or like you can just go to the community questing website. I think you head to the quest sessions. You will be able to find the form there. I think it should be up right now, because like by submitting this form, you can actually even get the XP. So yeah, this form will be only open for about a month. So yeah, please don't miss out. I think this is just a short one from me. That's all from me, and happy New Year. Hope you guys enjoy the. If there's any feedback on the merch form, please feel free to give me a DM or something like that. Yeah. Thank you,
Awesome.
everyone. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, guys, fill out that form. This is your opportunity to have your voice kind of be a part of that and give us some more merch ideas. Although I'm sure, Sven, you have a lot
Yeah.
of ideas on what we can put together, and I know I'm going to be passing off some of the ideas that the community's had over the years on some
Thank you.
merch.
Yeah.
But
Perfect.
you've got all the connections from what I've told in terms of like knowing the factories and whatnot
Yeah.
to actually have them manufactured, which I think has been one of our hardest issues to tackle here. Um, we've had lots of merch, but it hasn't been we haven't been able to ramp up the scale. Is what it is. We've had really good merch, just we
Yeah.
haven't been able to ramp up the scale, and some of the
Mhm.
ideas we just don't have the suppliers to execute. So, I've been told that you are going to change that drastically.
Oh my gosh. No problem. You have me now.
Perfect. Yes. So very excited. We'll keep it brief here. Happy to have you on. And guys,
you.
fill out that form and all the great merch that's coming. You know, we'll be
Yes, I hope you guys are excited for this too.
oh, trust me, the community has been chomping at the bit forever. So
Love it, love
this
it.
is a
This is
very
why I'm here.
good Santa's coming a little bit after Christmas this year, it seems like.
Never mind, this is a New Year thing.
Exactly, exactly. Well, thank
Okay,
you so much.
so much.
I will give you back the rest of your evening, I'm guessing, for you if you're in the Philippines there. And we will bring on our friends from Eve. So thank you again, San.
You.
Okay, okay. Hope that gets you guys hyped up there. Make sure you fill out that form. Don't forget to claim your tacos because who knows? Maybe we'll raffle off some future merch for taco points. But without further ado, let's bring our boys from Eve Frontiers on. We got DJ, we got Jotun.
What's up? What's up, YGG? How are you doing?
Welcome back, boys. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank
Hello,
you.
gamers.
In
We're
the
back
New
at it.
Year's. You are back at it. And again, Jonan, so happy you could join us. I know you're under the weather, but what a trooper. What a trooper, man.
Yeah, if I sound like I've got a brick shoved like right in the middle of my head, it's because I do. But we're out here, baby. We're still doing it.
You still sound like $1 million, man. You always do.
That's you're very kind. I don't feel like $1 million. But we're getting there.
It just makes your voice a little deeper. It sounds
Yeah,
so much
that's
nicer.
it's one of the very, very few perks, I guess.
So, boys, why don't you briefly introduce yourself for the community that's not familiar with what you're doing and what Eve Frontiers is, and then we'll dive right into gameplay and all those updates.
Absolutely. Should I start, perhaps?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So I'm CCP Dgent, working as a community developer for Frontier. I've been here since April last year, so I'm kind of getting into things now. Also wanted to say first one thing. Thank you guys so much for hosting such a great summit. I was there in Manila, first time in Manila in November. I had a blast, and it was great to meet people who are working at YGG, meeting the guild leaders, meeting players face to face. It was a blast. So I would like to say thank you guys for that.
Did you participate in any of the events there? You went to the Game Awards show, I'm hoping.
I went all over the place, and yeah, I did go to the Games Awards, and picked up an award for best adventure game. So I got the opportunity to represent the entire team on stage and receiving that award. So it was a huge thing for us. So came back very happy, man, and shared the prize with the rest of the team. So
very, very cool. So I bet you also were getting handed drinks left and right there.
Yeah, but I kept it pretty professional. The last event, the after party, was perhaps a little bit less, less professional. Can I say that? No, but it was a blast. Definitely. So I'm hopefully I will be back for next year as well, and hopefully I can bring with me my brother in arms, CCP Jotun.
Yes, hopefully I can make it out next year as well. I was there the year before, but I couldn't make it out this year. I was delayed a little bit by the snow here in Canada, making sure the farm was ready to go. But yes, hopefully next year we can all link up and party as well. I don't drink personally, but we can party nevertheless. Maybe do some karaoke there. Filipinos love to drink and do karaoke.
Yes. I've heard rumors of the karaoke thing. It's pretty exciting.
It is very exciting. So without further ado, why don't we pass it over to you, Jonan, and you tell us what you do.
Sure. I am CCP Jotun. I am the other community developer for eFrontier. And I mean, I focus a lot on gameplay. I work pretty closely with the design teams, with development, and just showing off what we do. I do a lot of the streaming for our game. So if you ever got the chance to see any of our streams on our Twitch channel or on our YouTube, there's a pretty good chance you'll see this ugly face there. and we do all right. We have a good time. It's not too bad.
Yes. You are the face of streaming when it comes to Eve Frontier. Like, again, if people need to learn about the game or have any questions, you're the guy to tune into.
Yeah, we just finished. Well, I say we finished. I was going to finish it on Sunday, and of course, I was sick. The beginning of several days of illness. But we did a stream series over the holiday, where I streamed just about every night, and just playing the game basically from the start up through as far as I've gotten. And what you'll see today is kind of where I left off from that. So we'll have a little bit of gameplay to show off some stuff, show off some of the cooler new features I'm pretty excited about. And here before too long, and this isn't something that we have to reveal today, but I've been kind of keeping an eye out for new things that are coming in the next couple of weeks and months. And the team has really got some juice in there. Some really exciting, features and new systems and new content, which I'm looking forward to. And we won't have those, like I said, we won't have those to show today. But if you keep in touch with like our circles and our various media sphere, there's a lot of really cool stuff in there that's going to be coming pretty soon. So I wanted to show some of it off on the stream series on Sunday, which I wouldn't have had a chance to anyway because I was sick. But Brand was like, let's hold off on that one a little bit. Let's do a beat for it. So coming soon, I guess is where I end up with that.
All good. Our boy JB, who heads up one of our guilds, NFTX Street, is in the chat, so I'm sure he's tuning in to have the edge coming forward as we put together the main YGG guild for Eve Frontiers. So he's here to get the scoop. So don't let him down.
Do our best.
What's up, JB?
Did you meet JB while you were in the Philippines?
I did actually meet him, and we took a cup of coffee and we discussed a little bit. Great guy, great guy. So I'm happy that he's leading the lines for this this bigger YGG tribe within the frontier. It's going to be a blast. So
yes, he's ready to go. He's itching at the bit for all those updates there. He will be the guy leading our YGG guild and coordinating all the facets there, as maybe not a lot of people know, or some of the people know, but some don't. Eve is just a massive game. Like, there is so many systems to learn.
Yeah.
And so many ways to play it, right? So I think we're going to dive and talk a little bit about that, but that's a good transition to maybe give just a very high level overview of what Eve Frontiers is for people that maybe aren't familiar. And then Jotun, we will go into the gameplay to give people a better idea. So I don't know if DJ, you want to maybe do the high level overview?
Sure, absolutely. So Eve Frontier is a super hardcore survival space sandbox MMO game. For you guys who are kind of new to Eve, it comes out of the studio called CCP Games, who is behind the game called Eve Online. A game that has over 20 years of legacy and tens of millions of players throughout that year. So basically, when you look at Eve Frontier, you're thrown out in the vastness of space, where civilization has been erased, and this universe is taken over by rogue NPC AIs, and your task is to first of all survive. And then revive civilization. So that's the kind of the high level elevator speech about the game. But it's so much more. I mean, it's a huge game. I should mention that we're still in alpha. So it has the main, the final version hasn't been released yet. And we are now currently in our 4th cycle. We did kick off the public alpha back in June, if I'm recalling correctly, and it has been now, we're in the 4th cycle, so it's 7 months in.
Still building out and fleshing out a lot of the systems, right?
Yes, exactly. And I should mention, I mean, it's a very community-centric company or game in that sense. So we are building this game together with the community. I mean, there is a lot of activity going on our social and especially on our Discord. You should check it out. It's discord.gg/efrontier. And we are picking up every single feedback that we're getting, positive and negative, and shaping the game towards its final version based upon those feedback. So if you're looking for a really tough challenge, and if you are looking for being a part of building something, Eve Frontier is definitely something for you.
Yeah, this is just touching the tip of the iceberg here, right? Like, you guys have so many ways to play, right? Like, you don't also have to be like combat centric. There's the farming side of it, right? There's so many different facets and areas that you can excel in or focus for the time being, and then always pivot later. That you can do. So we will dive into that, but I just wanted to highlight the founders access right now, because I don't think you're doing an open access, right? So you have to have this founders card to play right now. You do some open times, but currently that's not the case, right?
Exactly. So in order to access the game, you would need something that we call the founders access. All our players, we call them founders. And it has a price point between different levels from $39 to $99. We have run these kind of free trials previously, but there's also an opportunity. If you go to efrontier.com/en/founders access, you can also, if you want to try it out, you can request a trial period to try it out. But yes, with founders access, you will have access within this alpha state, leading all the way up to the launch of the game. And if you have the top tier or the top tiers of these founders access, you will also have access a couple of months into the game's launch. So
very cool. We have a quick. Oh, the cat is back.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
The cat wants attention.
of course. You don't gotta be sorry. Everybody loves cats. Why not, right?
Yes.
Another guest. We've got a quick question here from our friend Rio Connie on Twitch. He wants to know if he can play Eve on his Mac.
Sure can. Yep.
Yes.
You can play on PC, Mac natively, and then there have been a couple people who've got it working on Linux as well. Like people have got it running on Wine. So it's not native to Linux, but it's maybe something that we'll look at down the road.
Excellent. Well, there is your question answered, Connie. So you can access it pretty much on anything. Maybe Linux is a little bit more tricky, but I think anyone using Linux is savvy anyways. Well, why don't we dive into some gameplay? Because that's what people love to see.
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me
pull
me
me over here real fast.
Yep, I am trying to shift. Let me shift. There we go.
Oh my.
Hey.
All right, here we
Oh
go.
my.
Center stage.
Yeah, here we go. All right, let's go ahead and send it over then. We have, so this is the game. We are on the frontier. This is me in the center of the stage. This is my vessel. I spent some time grinding over the holiday to build this. It is primarily a mining ship, but I've got guns fit to it currently. So this is we're going to go out and do some hunting, do a little bit of hunting for some NPCs. Hopefully not immediately die, because that'd be kind of rough. Some things to note that is different from previous incarnations of this. We got rid of a lot of the automatic controls that are present in EVE Online. EVE Online allows you to just double click in space, which lets you move in a direction. It also allows you to orbit and approach players and NPCs so you don't have to focus so much on movement. That's no longer the case. All the movement now is handled with WASD keys, and so all the movement is this way. However, I have all of those bound to a joystick, which is why you're going to see me down here playing with this. The joystick is not native, but it is something that we are working on. So we're nearly there.
So you're flying the ship.
I am flying the ship. This is, and honestly, it feels pretty good. It feels kind of like if you do I don't know if anybody has ever done flight sim stuff, but Airbus flight sims kind of feel this way, where an Airbus flight sim always has that left. If you're in the pilot seat, the captain's seat that has that like left-handed flight stick that they use to fly the plane. That is kind of how this feels in very broad strokes. And I've got, of course, a bunch of different things bound to this as well. I've got the lock target on the thumb here. I've got speed controls up here and this little nipple thing at the top of the stick. And then, of course, the trigger is the guns. So we're going to, first things first, we're going to pull up the map of the solar system that we're in. And we're going to look around and we're going to look for some options here. And we have a couple different ones we can find. I think I want to go to, we're going to go to this one here because I know this one's fairly safe. I don't want to do this and then like immediately get fucking wrecked. That would not be ideal. Oh, man.
Who is JB highlighting here? Kim and Jenny. They're saying they didn't bring them all, but they brought the Taties. I'm assuming those are ships.
Yeah, so the Maul is the biggest ship in the, well, the biggest combat ship in the game currently. The Maul was actually the ship. So when I started the stream series over the holiday, the Maul was the ship I was intending to fight, or not fight, intending to try and build. I was perhaps a little presumptive when I tried that because it was going to take quite a bit longer than this. This is just, it's called like a USV. It is a much smaller ship. Here we go.
You got it pretty far, man. I'm really impressed because you have come much further than I have. And
Yeah.
I spent more time than just the Christmas period. So that's super impressive, man.
It
And I
was,
guess-
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I guess that's kind of some of the progression system, right? Is gathering as much materials as you can to progress to these different ships, right? I'm assuming just like how the Maul is like the biggest combat ship, there's probably like the biggest gathering ship as well somewhere down the road.
Yeah, I mean, this is I mean, in terms of gathering ships currently, we have, I mean, there are a couple different options, right? You are, you have the option to, I think I'm okay here. I am definitely okay here. All right, we're fine. Where's this other guy? Here he is. All right. We're gonna mop up. This is no big deal. I mean, ships obviously do different things, and different ships will be better or worse at different things. Right now, there's not a lot of individuality between them. They all kind of do very similar things currently. Just some of them have more or less room to like fit certain modules and things. However, in the future, that's not going to be the case. We have a lot of ideas for some really cool like ship feature sets. And some of the stuff that I talked about earlier when I said we have stuff coming, some of that is part of this as well. There are some really, really neat ideas that I've seen in how ships are not only going to interact with the world, but also interact with each other, and how players are going to be able to use their vessels, their space-faring vessels to, there we go. Nice. And we're just going to bring this around here real fast to use those vessels to get the most out of space. I mean, it should feel like I've heard a couple people say like a cross between like Factorio, Rust, and Elite Dangerous. Which if we can, I mean, all three of those are great properties, great products with really good platforms. So if we can hit anywhere in that set, I'd feel pretty comfortable with that.
Yeah, because you guys don't just have, you're not just flying around gathering resources. Like you have a whole city builder essentially too.
Oh yeah,
in, right?
Yeah, I mean, we can. If I go back to my, let me go back to my. Shut this off real fast. Go back to my base here real quick. I'll show you. So we do have a what I'm going to call I won't say early iteration because it's not that early. We've been doing this for a little while now, but it is the sort of the first steps of our base builder, because base building is a huge deal. Obviously, in any survival game, you need a place where you can like put down your stuff, put your tent down, have your little, your fire pit, like roast your rabbit or whatever it is that you're doing in a survival game. Obviously, the survival is a little bit different here because you are in space, and the tech level is quite a bit more advanced. So you have currently just the option to build for yourself. However, in the future, the not so distant future, we're really looking at some more dynamic ways to do this and more cooperative ways to do this. We want people to be able to build bases with each other, like with other players. And obviously, community has always been a huge deal for us, not just from a brand point of view, a marketing point of view, but also just as a way for players to get the most out of the game. I mean, anybody who's ever played EVE Online, and I've played EVE for a long, long time, will tell you that the best way to experience the game is with other people. And that's just true, I think, about most games in general. This is obviously a game that you can play by yourself, and we feel like the feature set is going to be pretty nice for players who just want to play solo, but for people who are looking for a little bit more out of it and want to really get into the more collaborative style of gaming, the thing that you can do, or thing that we hope people will do, is collaborative base building. So instead of just looking, you have your little tent, then now you're talking about like encampments. You're talking about hang on one second, sorry.
Well, I mean, I did spend cycle 1 solo playing, and comparing that to playing, being a part of a tribe, huge difference. So I mean, yeah, you could try playing it solo, but it's a completely different experience within a tribe. First of all, you make a lot of new friends, but you also, I mean, if you're going to revive civilization, good luck doing that.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, at that point, you really are just surviving, right? You're not necessarily thriving if you're doing it solo. But I mean, this is, when I talk about base building, this is what I'm talking about. We have the beginnings of what is going to be a pretty robust base building system, with a variety of different options for industry, storage, defense, stargates, any number of things. All of these are options that are at the moment still we're still in the testing phase, and there's not a ton of content there currently, but you can really start to get a feel for the bones of the thing, right? Where it's no longer just a matter of do I have the can I refit my ship, and can I reprocess the mineral? Now you have, well, how can I reprocess minerals most efficiently? Like, how do I set up a proper supply? I mean, one of the things that I found really cool when I was streaming over the holiday was I got the opportunity to really get a feel for how the industry process works, because it's not just it really does it feels like Factorio with a lot of the really the most useful elements stripped away, but that's all coming too. I mean, we've talked a lot about how we want people to be able to automate their industry, set up not just different refineries and different manufacturing arrays and different all the different tools of industry, but also allow people to put up conveyor belts and allow people to put up basically hoppers and gatherers and all the different things that you'd want to see from a fully enriched industry system. So we have, I think, obviously still a long way to go on that end. But you see the bones of it there, and that's where it gets pretty exciting, right? Because now I'm sitting here looking at it going, okay, I have notes. I wrote notes down over here. You can see in the bottom right hand corner of the screen here, you won't be able to see too closely, but I have notes about how, if I want to make this specific item, what specific ingredients do I need? What specific resources do I need to go out into space and gather? And in the future, is that going to be something where I can send out harvester drones to go pick up those items? Is that something that I can send out put down an automated gathering array, and then have that gathering array report back to my resource refinery system? All of these things are things that the team is obviously working on and thinking about pretty clearly, because this is what the future of at least industry in this game is going to look like. It's going to be very hands-on in the beginning, in the same way that if you were dropped on a desert island, or a deserted island rather, and you needed to kind of fend for yourself, you wouldn't have necessarily an iron smelter straight at the gate. Like you have to build up from that. So the beginning of the game is going to feel very much like you're having to do everything with your hands because you are. But then after a certain point, you're going to unlock a lot of the ability to do things in a way that is more less hands-on, more automated, and more scalable, right? Because you can't really scale manual inputs that well. There are only so much. Every person only has so much APM, but you can have computers do all kinds of shit. So that is the goal. That's what we're looking for.
So that's in the not too distant future.
Yeah.
I mean, we did drop a kind of a semi-automated industrial update just after New Year's, was it? Or
we did.
Yeah.
Let me hang on one second.
And you kind of get a feel of it because it's still not there yet, but you kind of see the shape of how it's going to be. I mean, now it's a lot of clicks. It's less than it was, but you kind of see the idea of how it's going to be taking shape. And I guess CCP Jotun is going to show a little bit how you refine and how this industrial tools work.
Yeah. So what we did was we've changed a lot of stuff in terms of how the industry UI works, and you can start to see really how this is going to play out once we have, like I said, more robust tools to get this working. So if I go down here real fast, we're going to interact with this refinery. So the refinery, obviously, I have jobs that we're running. I forgot about these. Do I even have storage space for that? I'm running out of storage space pretty quickly. Here we go. Okay, so you can see, I mean, we have obviously the list of different things that can be refined here. Obviously, we just went out and got some platinum palladium, which is the item that I was just gathering. So if I open up this item here and select it, you can then decide where you want to pull from to if you want to I say you got it and collected some stuff, maybe you have some in storage, you want to pull from a location, you can do that here. And then over here on this side, when you start the job is going to run. You'll start refining this material into other materials over here on this side, and then you can decide where you want these things to go when you withdraw them. However, both of these things feel like, and they feel like it because this is the idea, that at some point down the line, you'll be able to connect other assemblies to this one. Because right now you can do it manually. Like I can say right now, I want to pull from this location to go into this machine, and then manually say when it's done, I want to pull from this and go to another one. Well, I want to, at a certain point, just say, I don't even want to think about all that. I just want to say, hey, you're going to run this job where you're going to pull from this thing into this machine if there's ever an input there. You're going to run it, and then when you're done, you're going to automatically put it into this one over here. And then somewhere else down the line, something else is going to look at that can and say, hey, that stuff that you just put in there, I'm now going to use that to build XYZ, right? So that is the goal. That is the kind of the long-term plan. And in the meantime, we talk a lot about industry, we talk a lot about manufacturing because those are, kind of cool, neat, interesting base building things. Or not base building things, but like survival game things. But there's also, a ton of really cool, especially soon, there's going to be a lot of really cool new content, like PvE content coming. I can't really talk too much about that just yet, but it is coming pretty soon. You guys will hear more about it here before too long. Some cool new PvE content, and of course, always in this game, PvP is a threat. You always kind of have to keep an eye out for players. During the middle of the stream series I was running, did get accosted by a player at one point and had to kind of fight my way out of it. Now, granted, I was in an advantageous position compared to him, so it was not too much trouble. But it was it's always a threat. The universe is dangerous. Everything wants to kill you, including other players. Now, that's why it benefits you to get in with another group, because then you can rely on your homies to support you. But short of that, you're kind of on your own. And when you're on your own, you just got to make your best way. DJ, you're about to say something.
Yeah, well, while speaking about PvP, I've heard rumors that there is talk about this guild versus guild battle royale event that people are cooking up. So I would say, if you're interested, you should join up with the YGG tribe. And participate in this. I don't know the details. I've just heard rumors about it. But we sure know that when these rumors kind of surface, it usually happens. And it's something that I personally will participate in. So yeah, make sure to team up. I'm just saying. So, I mean, there is going to be a little bit of a steep learning curve jumping into Frontier. I know everything about it because before I started working at CCP and EVE Frontier, I hadn't played EVE Online at all. Compared to my colleagues, who all of them have black belts in EVE Online. So I kind of really needed to learn it from scratch. So it takes a minute, right?
Yeah.
But when you finally get there, when you get those soft skills, if you like, you really feel that you're accomplishing something. So get started, and then join up. JB is in the chat. He could direct you to the easiest way to join. I know that the tribe is set up in the YGG tribe is set up in the game. I think for now, in order to join, you should join the NFTX Street Discord. I'm not sure, but that's kind of what I've heard. And eventually, you will be able to kind of hook up with the YGG tribe through the YGG Discord. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Fallen Corpses.
No, that is right now. JB is our resident EVE Frontier expert when it comes to that. Yeah. I think going forward, we might be pushing like one big YGG guild instead of a bunch of splintered ones. But yeah, he will have all those details. And again, those are the best guys to join up with, because right now I even see him. Shout outs to Nathan from Empharsis there. They're all saying, hey, if you want a Tades, we've got like 4 extras. So
hey man, I need one.
It would have taken me so long to grind for a Tades. I was so presumptuous about how much I was actually gonna be able to get done in the time that I was allotting for myself. And then the problem is I spent most of this fucking streams just yapping. So like I wouldn't do anything anyway. People are like, oh, you're asking questions. I'm sitting here like I'm sitting in a mining belt, not actually mining any rocks, just talking. And then after an hour, I'm like, oh, guess stream's done. Sorry, guys. Having accomplished nothing. So.
Right. And you're going in solo. It's not like you're playing with a tribe, right? You're trying to give the most real experience of somebody coming in solo versus if they were to come in straight with a tribe, there'd probably be a little bit more helping hands, right?
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely right.
CCP Jotun, are you in an area where you have landscapes close to you? Because that's also...
I am not. I wish I was. I was actually thinking about that earlier. So we're changing up the way actually just solar systems look in general. If you look on the map currently, this is a lot of like what EVE Online's map. Well, this is not what EVE Online's map looks like, but it has a lot of the same kind of features, right? Where you have planets, you have moons, you have sites, like warpable locations where you have sites. But the problem is those sites, and this is true in a lot of other MMOs as well, those sites are very similar, right? If you go to a site that's called like, Big Rock in Space, okay? You warp to the Big Rock in Space, and it's going to look like every other Big Rock in Space in the entire game. You might have Big Red Rock in Space. That's a different site. But all the big red rocks in space are all going to look the same. We're changing that at some point. And we've already introduced the first version of the system. But that first version is it's like limited to kind of the new bro systems anyway. So I'm a little too far away to go visit one right now. But you can take my word for it. They are pretty cool. What we do now instead of having individual sites that you just go to one location that has one specific thing and then that's it, you'll now instead go to these areas. And these areas are much larger regions of space, these vast regions of space actually that we have to kind of navigate through them a little bit more manually, and they'll have more dynamic kind of content in there. And they're also not going to be, it'd be the equivalent of like, imagine if you were playing a survival game, you needed wood, okay? And so for wood, you would then, go outside of your base and then you go over to the location called tree, and you walk up and there's a single tree in this area, and you go over there, you knock the tree down, and you get the wood, and you're like, okay, cool. And you go back to base, and that's it. Then next time you want wood, you say, hey, I'm going to go to tree, and then you go to tree, and there's the same goddamn tree, and you knock that tree down, and you get the same goddamn wood, and you go back to your base. Well, we're getting rid of that. Now instead of tree, you'll have like forest. So you go over to the forest, and there are a lot of different kind of trees, and a lot of different, maybe not just trees, maybe streams as well. Maybe there's some caves. Maybe there's an abandoned hut. Maybe there's feral dogs. I don't fucking know. Whatever you find out in the woods, like the Blair Witch. You've seen movies. Anyway, all of those things are like, they provide a more enriching experience than just like, here's the one thing that you get in the one location. You go there and get it, and you're done. Now you'll have the option to go to this place, and while you're there, you might see other things that are interesting to you that you might want to come back and look at later. So one of the issues people have run into, and we kind of anticipated going into this, is that a lot of these systems feel very similar. At least now with these new landscapes, there are these new areas, we're calling them. There are going to be new ways for people to find things or look for things in space without just being able to right click, go to the one thing that's going to immediately give them the thing they want, and then go back to their base. That makes it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more dynamic. Actually, I take it back. It's way more interesting. I know why I said a little bit more interesting. It's way more interesting. Trust me, having done both, the version we have is way better than the version we had previously. Now, I will say they are currently a hot mess. They're pretty buggy, and they have what I would call some performance issues. But those are all things we can correct in time. So other than that, I mean, it's pretty cool. It is worth giving a look at anyway, if nothing else. You will have more information out about it. Obviously, we had a stream that we did about this one, with some of the developers in this. CCP Concron and CCP Wizard were the two people who we spoke to about it back in December. That stream is up on our YouTube channel if you want to check it out. Just go to our YouTube channel anyway. It's pretty good. We've got a lot of cool stuff there, and they talk pretty in depth about how they feel like that system is going to look in the future, and they have a lot of great ideas for how it's going to be fleshed out. Instead, it will make the solar systems in space feel like actual regions of space, as opposed to just like individual little pockets that you go to get one thing and then leave.
Yeah, make them feel more alive.
Yes, exactly. More alive. Correct.
It's also great for people who love the exploring part, right? I mean, you have the builders, you have the PvEers, you have some people just want to explore space, right? And this is a great feature in the game that is for those explorer guys.
Well, exactly. I'm sure somebody on your dev team is going to put like some special secret landscape somewhere, probably, where it might have something for the explorer. If they go there, it's like the secret resource or secret cave with a resource, right?
Correct.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm just queuing up your YouTube link here so that people
thank you.
Can see it. We've got that. We've got a question here from JB, the man himself. He wants to know if you guys are ever going to have voice chat, and I think he's also asking about proximity voice chat.
Oh boy.
Everybody, I guess, is watching Arc Raiders right now, and they want to trash talk. They want to trash talk.
Yeah. Well, listen. Here's the thing. Proximity voice chat is great, and I am so. It is one of those things I always worry that people are like, "Oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea," and then you put in the effort to put it in, and then afterwards you're like, "Oh fuck. This was terrible. This is a terrible idea." Will it be something that we work on at some point? I don't know. Maybe. I know. I mean, it's a hot button issue right now. I know people have been talking about it. How it would look in our game. I've heard people talk about wanting the ability to like hail people, like ping people, and then like open a line of voice communications in space. That sounds very sci-fi-ish, very, Star Trek-y at that point, I suppose. But I can foresee. I don't know. We used to have EVE Online used to have voice chat, if you can believe it. This was like 20 years ago, but they did have it. And why it was ever removed, I don't know. Probably just because there were better options at the time. I mean, that was back in the Mumble and Ventrilo days, and I mean, hell, we're still using Mumble. I don't know why I'm pretending like it's an old thing. Maybe, who knows? We'll see.
Did we show the vastness of the how large this universe is last time we did this hangout? I'm not sure we did, right?
I don't know if we did. I can show you.
Let's show that. because
So-
it's not a small space at all.
So this is the solar system we're in right now, and then you can kind of see like the regions around here that I can jump to. These are all different stars, and then if I just keep zooming out, you'll see that this is the cluster of stars around the black hole that I'm nearby. Looking at this, just what's on the screen right now, this is probably about as many stars as there are in EVE Online. It's quite a few. I mean, you're talking about 5,000 stars here, and then if I zoom out further, then you'll see the rest of the universe. Which is pretty considerable. Each one of these dots is a single star. There are 3 black holes in the center of the galaxy. You've got the big one over here, the medium one over here, and the small one over here. I mean, they're all pretty big. They're black holes after all. And like you can get in here and see like these stars get pretty clustered when you get like right down in here into the mix. And sure enough, like, I mean, it's 23,000 stars. It's a lot of places to visit. So, and one of the questions and concerns we get a lot is this game going to be like friendly to people who want to like not see other people? And the answer is kind of, yeah. I mean, you're never going to be fully safe from any kind of interaction. I mean, it is a fully open PvPvE game. I mean, there's just no two ways about that. However, the universe is big, and if you want to fuck off to the middle of nowhere and hide and like lay low, that is your prerogative, baby. You have the ability, you have the power. You know what I mean? It might take some doing to get out there. Like some of these systems, I don't, and they would be tough to get to. Like way out over here, like they're like some of these stars. I don't know how the fuck anyone's getting over to this one. This is going to take some doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You might not be able to do that one, but I mean, I need to give a shout out to our builders community, because we have a huge part of our community are active builders, and they have built some fantastic tools that you can use within the Frontier. So, for example, we have the EF map. I just shared a link to you, Fallen Corpse, in the private chat. But one thing that I struggled with big time in the beginning was to actually calculate or figure out how do I get from point A to point B. I was supposed to join up with the tribe, and I was in my starter system. How the heck do I get out of there? Well, then I saw this EF map tool, where you can easily just put in, okay, I'm starting from here, I'm going there, and I have maximum like 50 light years or 45 light years that I can travel. And you plot it in, and it just calculates the route for you, which makes it super easy. Well, not super easy, but it makes it easier for you to actually plan how you're gonna get from one point of the universe to another one. So yeah, exactly. There you go. The ef-map.com is a great tool, and you have also within that tool, you have blueprint tools, you have kill boards. It's a great one. So a big shout out to who was it who built that CCP, Jotun? Was it Aquila?
No, that's Lacal. Aquila did make a map tool pretty early on, and his was pretty good. But he has kind of he has sunsetted his mapping tool in favor of the one that Lacal has made. Lacal is another one of our builders and just players in general who has been pretty active over the last couple of months and is providing a service not just to the community but also to us as developers. I mean, he is creating a tool that even I'm using. So this is when we talk about co-development, we talk about building collaborative gaming, building these collaborative worlds. This is the kind of thing we're talking about, right? Like this is something that we, down the line we are offering. We want this to be an experience that enriches both the players and the builders and ourselves and everybody involved. And that's, I think, where that's the good stuff. That's the juice.
So we talked a little bit about earlier about base building. We've talked about the PvP and everything. We've shown the map. Are tribes essentially going to be able to stake claims to like certain solar systems by building certain structures that will have, I'm assuming, auto turrets and stuff on it, so that if you're not a part of it, you will like essentially die?
I think a lot of those systems are going to be built by players. I don't know if we haven't talked too much about what that, because obviously EVE Online has something like that, right? It has a sovereignty system, and that is effectively what that is. It's a sovereignty. So if you own Sov over a certain region or a certain system, what that's going to look like in Frontier, honestly, probably too early to tell. We do want ways for people to be able to stake their claim, to put their flags down. What that's going to look like in the future, I wouldn't be able to say. I guess we'll find out. Hey, and that is part of the joy of co-development, baby. If where we find out at the exact same time.
Now, so again, we've talked about all the gameplay aspects. How does the economy work here? Because obviously EVE Online has been around for a long, long time. It's got a vast economy. Frontiers is fairly new. How are you incorporating like blockchain tech into this for the next phase?
I mean, we're currently in the process of moving our tech stack over to SWE. And that is going well by all accounts. I have not heard an update recently. I haven't been into the office in 3 days because I've been sick. So maybe things have blown up. I have no idea. Probably not. Somebody just warp in? No, I'm hearing things. Yeah, I'm hearing things. I thought I heard somebody warp in. I did not. It is a, how do I say this? There are a lot of things that we are looking forward to here before too long that are not really things that we can talk about too much because we won't know what they're going to look like until we get the SWE
migration. But it's still very early, right? And taking all the knowledge that the 20+ years of knowledge of running an in-game economy from EVE Online. Naturally, this is going to be aspects that you will see in the Frontier, but it's still very early, right? A lot of testing is going on, etc. So it's just having to be stay tuned, trying out the game. I mean, you have already some of these aspects on testnet, but it's a very sophisticated system, which is basically being tested out as we speak. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, there are a lot of things that are on-chain currently, and more things that are going to be on-chain in the future. We're working with pods here before too long. We're going to be working on provable object data to increase some secrecy things. We're going to be working on some new like account abstraction stuff, which is going to be pretty cool. Just new and better ways to interact with the tech. And one of the biggest complaints people have had for a long time about anything in the Web3 space, and this is honestly, I think, a failing of Web3 from the very beginning, was that they introduced this cool new tech, and then they made it the most obtuse possible systems to interact with, and it just really drove a lot of people the wrong way. Like we want this thing to feel like you should be able to play this game without ever realizing that there's for the same reason you would never ask about is EVE Online running on a SQL server. You would never ask if EVE Online or if EVE Frontier is running on a blockchain. You should never know. I mean, obviously there are things in there that you can interact with if you want to that are cool, but at the same time, we want there to be that level of abstraction. I mean, I'm rambling a little bit, but the long and short of it is there are cool things that this new our collaboration with SWE is going to be able to unlock for us in terms of just how the game works, how the game plays, how the game feels. It's going to feel a lot faster for one. We're really excited about that. And it's going to, the new move system is going to let people have a lot of cool new tools with how they want to build out new systems in the game, how they want to interact with the game server, how they want to interact with other players. Like all of those things feel very cool, and I wish I could talk more about them, but we are, and until we get the transition done, we're not quite there yet.
Let's just elaborate a little bit on what you say. We're talking about there, CSP, when it comes to that Web3 aspect of the game and the game features. I have a background in the Web3 space. Been working in the Web3 space for 5 years. I had to really deep dive and look into where are these blockchain aspects, because I didn't feel it was so seamlessly integrated into the game that I kind of just had to go to we are now currently on EVM testnet. So basically the Pyro testnet, I had to kind of check where are these transactions going. So it's very sophisticated, implemented in the game, and it's not using blockchain for the blockchain's sake. It's using blockchain technology for game features that makes sense. So
Yeah, and which Eve was like the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking about how you could implement blockchain tech, because I believe, like, for Eve Online, I'm not a huge player, but I believe for that, like, you can almost trade almost any resource or anything in game for the in-game currency, and vice versa, right? So if you need something, you have the creds for it, you can essentially trade for it.
Correct. So I think, you know, it's going back to the vision that our, you know, the company has. We always talk about Eve forever, right? And kind of like, you know, Eve Online, it's you know, it has its centralized economy and stuff like that. So our CEO, when we kicked off this project with Eve Frontier, is kind of trying to remove all those points of failure where a game, well, where we have the control, where a game possibly could die. So giving that, you know, that over, you know, well, let me find the correct words. Giving the control over to the community and decentralizing these aspects is a very important part of creating that the game that will last forever, outlive its creators in a sense. So.
Yeah, where you can't just be a big AAA corp and turn off the servers.
Yeah. You can't do anything, right? You know, the wallets are non-custodial. You know, it's a decentralized economy, etc. So it's a important aspects of the game.
Well, we are getting to the top of the hour, and I think we've covered all the major aspects here.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to show that graphic because I know
yeah.
Levi and our NFT X-Tree boys have been flexing in the Discord.
Oh.
That's the Tades, right?
It is the Tades. Yep. The Tades, among the uglier models we have in the game currently, just because it's not done. I mean, there are a couple different things we have that are just not finished currently. And that is one of them. But I mean, like I said, all these things are you know, still pretty heavily work in progress. You know, the whole thing is in development. I don't suspect that there's much that is in there currently that is going to survive in its current state. Some industry things maybe to launch. So, but I mean, I love the fact that people are getting involved. The fact that people are getting interested and getting excited about it, and that they're giving us feedback. I mean, the most important part of this, I mean, this whole process is getting good feedback from both our players and, you know, just other community members and other people outside of the, you know, our spaces, because every bit of that feedback goes back to our development team and helps them make a better game, a more enriching experience for everyone, and hopefully something that is actually fun to play. So
very, very cool. So guys, if you want to get involved, definitely head over to Frontiers, the Frontiers, eFrontiers website. Let me pull that up again. And if you don't have the cash, or maybe you're on the fence, ask for a trial. That way you can dip your toes in and see if it's for you. And then after that, maybe reach out to JB and get involved with one of the tribes if you want to ease your way into it, make it easier for you to get over that learning curve. I think that's probably the biggest thing, right? Is that initial overwhelming. You guys have so much stuff to do, so jumping in all these systems can feel a little bit overwhelming, but there's more than enough, whether it's your eFrontier YouTube or our tribes here. There's lots of info to get involved.
Oh yeah.
And also, I mean, our Discord packed with people. Everybody is super helpful when it comes to new players. So if you're stuck or whatever, you know, go in there, ask for help, and people will absolutely take care of you. I know that JP will do that as well. But you know, make sure to, because we're dropping all our bigger beats, tips and tricks. We got we even have a builders channel for people who are interested in coding, who wants to build within inside the Frontier, because it's a moddable game. We have a section for those guys as well. There's also recruitment for different tribes. So there's tons of cool stuff that is going on in our Discord. So make sure to join.
There you guys go. Well, you heard it here, and thank you so much for both of you for joining again. It's always a pleasure to have you on, especially Jonan, since you're sick. I'm sure you're ready to hop off and take a break.
Yeah, I'll be going back to bed after this is done. So thank you so much for having us, man. It's always a delight. I appreciate being here. And I appreciate talking to all of your people as well. I mean, all your people are my people or our people, or you understand how it goes. So it is always a joy. I like doing this. Thank you.
Always a pleasure being here. Looking forward to next time, guys.
Hell yeah.
Yes, I'm sure we will have you on for the next wave or updates, especially once you guys get some maybe that battle royale or something. Maybe we'll switch it up and we'll do more of a game night versus a hangout. So
Perhaps it's gonna
forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big year. That's for sure.
Very much so. Well, guys, let's wrap up with that Visions trailer, and we will catch you in game. So cheers.
See you in the frontier.
Let everybody.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
venture into an ancient world, cruel and boundless. In the void, you build a shelter against the cold. But as your ambitions grow, so too does your appetite for the unknown. Ancient constructs lurking in the dark, woven into shadows once their own, plagued by remnants of algorithmic imperative. There are others of your kin, all drawn to the power to remake this world. Towering structures take shape over barren worlds. A fragile attempt at cooperation. But the promise of wealth and violence will compel you into the abyss once more. You will wake and remain awake.